So you've been playing Guild Wars 2 for some time now, and everything seems dandy. But then it hit you. You're burnt out, you're bored, and you don't feel like playing anymore. So you quit. Well, we've all been there before. I personally quit Guild Wars 2 more times than I can count. And for all you guys who don't know me, I'm McDaddy, a Guild Wars 2 veteran with over 4,200 hours in game time, and a beta player in the game. The thing is, if you're a veteran, I am sure you will come back. Get over here! But it's just a matter of how long it will take you. If you're a new player though, keep watching the video so I can walk you through what you can expect as you reach the level 80 mark before you actually call it quits. Now, if you've read the title, I quit Guild Wars 2 multiple times in the past, and I always see myself come back. And it's mostly during major updates such as new fractals, maps, or expansions, and I think this is the main problem that Guild Wars 2 has. Now, I just recently came back to Guild Wars 2, probably a month ago, and I have a completely different mentality now. Even though I've been playing on and off for over a decade, it just hit me. I have to take it slow, set short and long term goals, and I also decided to make it my second job in the hopes that I can one day quit my 9 to 5 to become a full time content creator. Alright, so starting with number one as to why I usually quit is the fact that the time between every update feels endless, and you are left in a long silent phase during that time. Now, ArenaNet are addressing this with expansions every year and quarterly feature updates, and this should hopefully sort out this problem. The other reason as to why I end up quitting is because I would feel burnt out. Remember when Aurora came out? Yeah, I grinded the shit out of it. And once I actually got it, I looked here and there and thought, what the hell should I do now? So, this is when I quit. The way you can address this, as I mentioned before, set short and long term goals. The final reason would be real life commitments and personal preference changes. So, whether you want to try out a new game or just recently, let's say, for example, you got married, you had a baby, joined the college, or got a big change in your life, then quitting or taking a break from the game could be the healthier thing to do for you. This happened once in my case when I had to move to India to work at a startup and I decided to let the game go. But look at me, here I am now. Now, when it comes to new players, the reasons might vary. I'm working on a Zero to Hero series, which will be out after some time, and I have to say, new players have it hard. First thing I had to do was fix the inconvenient control options, and then I quickly noticed that I don't have the ability to customize my user interface. This is something that I didn't look at as I am used to my existing layout where the map is on the top, but after having to change the map from the bottom to the top on the new account, it hit me. Why isn't there more layout customization options? If you look at games like Black Desert, for example, you can literally change every single aspect of the UI without any problem. Now, when it comes to leveling from 1 to 80, the process can feel a bit slow, but it's better than other games. It can, however, feel pretty tedious for newer players, and this probably sets the pace for them. So, some changes need to be done there. Not only that, though, I really felt the difference between the older maps and the newer ones. Let's take Verdant Brink, for example. You can see the levels of verticality in the map, the depth, and the effort it took to create the map. Now, if you compare this to Queensdale, yeah, you can see where this is going. Now, apart from that, even though the game is free to play, I felt like this update to a full account thing is always in my face, reminding me that I'm using the pleb version of the game. You will also be stripped off of your Raptor after 10 hours as a free to play player, and the game will try to push you to buy things for convenience. Another thing is the fact that I was bound to only two characters and the trading post was limited. This felt like a letdown, especially that the game advertised itself as a free to play game when I think that the better terminology for this would be a test account or a trial account. This feels like one of those apps that you can download, tell you to fill in all your information to customize some plan for you. Then by the end of it, you will see that you have to pay to actually get the results. A bit sneaky from ArenaNet's side, I have to say. Now, I recently released a video on whether Guild Wars 2 is pay to win or not, and in the game's defense, it used to have a buy to play model, and then moved into a free to play one in order to attract more players. Now, to avoid completely moving free to play, they made it so that you can try the game, but if you want to explore more content from the expansions, then you have to actually pay for it. I believe that any player who actually enjoyed the early experience will end up investing in the expansions. At the end of the day, there are salaries to be paid and expenses to be made. So the game has to monetize itself somehow. And at least they don't have any items that provide any stat boosts in their in-game gem store. So that's actually a positive thing as well. Now in any MMO, naturally it will take time to get to some point where you can experience the end game. This takes time in Guild Wars 2's case, and the first 80 levels of grind can be a bit of a let off. You will have to grind out the maps as you make your way to level 80, all while seeing that those maps are not too populated. This may raise a concern, and you might feel like the game is dead, but in reality, it is not. There's a lot of people, and I mean a lot, but no one wants to spend their time in the older maps. Everyone is in the farm friendly maps and in the maps that you get to in the later stages of the game. Now, the final thing that was a let off would be the fact that I literally had zero direction starting off on a new account. I jumped into Queensdale and was left there to explore this gigantic game on my own. For experienced MMO players, this can be kind of fine. For the veterans of the game, it's a walk in the park. But for the new players to the genre, it's a big letdown. Where do you start? Where do you go? And so on. Now, some of you would say that this is done on purpose to give players a bit more freedom and allow them to explore the way they want. Some people might like this, but I am against it. The reason why is because let me tell you a short story. I let my wife play the game on a new account in the hopes that I can turn her into a gamer like myself, but ending up failing miserably. If you guys have managed to make your own wives or girlfriends play the game with you, leave your experience in the comments. I'd like to know how you managed to do so. But anyway, let's just say she hit level 8 and quit. So now, what's in it for you? Why would you want to stay? Well, if you're a new player and have some doubts about the game, let me tell you that Guild Wars 2 is populated enough to do almost everything. The endgame is saturated enough that you will have things to do for years to come. If you want to participate in PvP, you can do so as early as level 2. If you want to fight hundreds of players in epic server versus server combat, you can also do that. If you are fond of PvE, then you have raids, strikes, fractals, open world encounters, exploration, and much more. If you are a completionist, you have a huge wardrobe that you can unlock, a whole bunch of achievements that you can collect, and 9 classes with 3 elite specializations each that you can play with. It just takes time to get there, and my number one advice would be to take it slow and play at your own pace. Guild Wars 2 is not a race. Now, if you're a veteran, remember the good times you used to have in the game, whether it was with your friends, your guildies, or even on your own. All you have to do is just change the way you play, change your elite spec, change your class, try playing different game modes, set long term and short term goals. There is literally so many things that can keep you entertained. Now, my last note would be that taking break from games is fine, and Guild Wars 2 is prepared for that. Even if you go away for a whole year and come back, you will still be relevant, and you will almost feel like nothing has changed. And that's the beauty in the game. If you are quitting due to life conditions, everything will get better. I believe in you. Now, good luck with everything you're doing, and I will see you guys in Tyria. Peace.